Hello, Facebook family. I hope everyone is doing well on this Saturday evening. I hope you all have had a wonderful, wonderful day. As you come into this video, just go ahead and say hello, give me a wave, let me know who you are. As you come in, I am not going to be before you guys long because I know that it is Saturday, and I know that some of you are with your families or preparing to preparing for tomorrow, preparing for your work week even. So I definitely don't want to keep you on here long, so I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into this tonight. If you did not see the title for this particular video is "It is finished." It is finished. I am so excited to share this, and to be honest with you guys, like, I've had this on my heart to share. God gave this to me to share like a few days ago, and so I'm just now doing it. I know. So, but anyway, I wanted to just go ahead and share this with you guys, and I really hope that it serves as an encouragement to you. If not to you, then maybe to somebody around you that you know that is, just going through some things and needs some encouragement. But before I jump into it, I just want to remind you all to visit my website if you want to learn more about Beautifully Made, which is I'm the founder of Beautifully Made, the visionary behind that ministry. You can go to www.PaulaNosworthy.com and you can stay up to date with everything Beautifully Made. And I have exciting news coming up, so I'll announce that to you guys when that comes. So I'm gonna jump right into it. So the other day, I was just talking with the Lord, and He dropped in my spirit, "It is finished. It is finished." And of course, I thought about the cross, and I ended up in the book of John, chapter 19, the New King James Version, and it says in verse 30, so when Jesus had received the sour wine, He said, "It is finished." And bowing His head, He gave up His spirit. Now, I want to go back, and I should have did that already. Let me just go back to verse 28, just to kind of round everything out. So verse 28 says, "After this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, 'I thirst.' Now a vessel full of sour wine was sitting there, and they filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on hyssop, and put it to His mouth." Verse 30, so when Jesus had received the sour wine, He said, "It is finished," and bowing His head, He gave up His spirit. So my 3 words of encouragement to you all tonight is, it is finished. There are people that are watching this right now that will watch the replay of this, and you have endured hell. Like, you've endured so much this past week, this past month, even in this year. You've endured so much, even throughout the last 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 years. You've endured so much. You've been beaten, you've been bruised, you've been cast away, you've been ridiculed, you've been rejected, you've been talked about, you've been lied on. You have just endured so much. But God says, "It is finished. It is finished. It is finished." God brought you through all of that so that He could revive you into a new place of power, so that He can transition you into a higher place. Just like Jesus, what you have endured will be to help somebody else. Now, I know that, when we're going through stuff and we're going through situations, we don't see it as this is going to help somebody else. All we see is our problem, right? All we see is, well, this is what I'm going through. Like, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm dealing with right now. I need to know how I get out of this. because I'm stuck in this and I don't know how to get out. And we don't see it as, let me push, let me endure, because somebody else along the journey is going to need my testimony from what I'm enduring right now. And if some of you on here may know my testimony and some of you don't, but a part of my story is that I was married. In 2013, I got married, and March of 2013, I got married, and December of 2014, I was divorced. So that was about a year and a half of time. And going into that marriage, I was so broken. I had no business trying to be or being somebody's wife. And on top of that, he had a child as well. So I was becoming an instant mother. But I was so broken. I mean, just tore up from stuff that I never dealt with it, and I put on a mask, and I just thought that, everything is just, it'll be okay. Like, once I get the ring and the man and have the wedding and all this kind of stuff, and we'll just have the dream of the house and the white picket fence and this whole thing. And none of that happened. None of that happened. And we endured a lot of trials, and I was already messed up. You know what I mean? Like, internally, I was already dealing with so much, and really suppressing so much, because I wasn't dealing with it. I had suppressed it. So I was suppressing all this stuff. And on top of that, trying to be a wife and trying to love somebody else. And let me just stop here and tell you that there is no way that you can give love to somebody else if you do not know who you are. There is no way that you can give to somebody else if you do not know who you are. And when you put your identity in a person or in a thing, in a job, in a car, in what's in your bank account, you don't know yourself. That's not your identity. You have no idea who you are. And so you have to get to the place where you know who you are before you can give out to anybody else. If your cup is not full, what are you giving to the person that's beside you? You're giving them, just pieces of you. You're giving pieces until the point where you have nothing left. And that's what happened to me. I gave pieces until I had nothing left. And when I got divorced, I was at my rock bottom. I was at the lowest point that I had ever been at in my entire life. And, God gave me an ultimatum, and he said, either you can fight, and if you fight, I fight with you, or you're going to continue in this same cycle of depression and suicidal thoughts, this same cycle of brokenness. And I made the choice to say, all right, God, I will fight. But don't make the mistake and think that that was an easy journey. Okay, it's been 3.5 years. And the woman that you see recording this broadcast is not the little girl that got divorced December of 2014. I was a little girl. Now, externally, you saw a grown woman, but internally, I was a little girl. And so 3.5 years later, almost 4 years later from that point, the woman that I am today, that you see before you, I fought to get here. I endured my cross to get here. You understand? Like, I went through some stuff to get here. Before the marriage, during the marriage, after the marriage, like, okay, so I was beaten, not literally, but spiritually, emotionally, internally, mentally, beaten, bruised, everything. I'm talking about throughout my life, right? Throughout majority of my life, I should say, from the time that I was about 12 or 13. That's kind of when the enemy began to really have a hold on me. Like, he really started coming for me at like 12 or 13. And so, let me get this off my screen, y'all. Okay. So what I want to encourage each of you in is that it is done, right? Jesus said, it is finished. He bowed his head. He died physically, right? And then we know that he rose again with all power. And so I want you to know tonight that no matter how beaten down you might feel right now. There are some of you on here that maybe, you don't even know where your next meal is going to come from. Some of you may be on here and you are, you don't have a place to stay. Some of you might be on here and, you have been battling with depression, battling with that spirit of suicide. Jesus, some of you may be on here and you are ready to quit. I've been exactly where you are. I've been exactly where you are. And I told somebody this today. I said, I wanted to die. Like, I wanted to, because I didn't know who I was, and I didn't feel loved, and I felt rejected, and I felt abandoned, and I felt overlooked, and I felt forgotten about. And so I used to just cry because I'm just like, well, what's the point? What's the point of my life if nobody really cares, right? That was what the enemy had planted in me, and I agreed with those thoughts. Understand, you have the power to agree or to not agree. That lies within us. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, y'all. Down a little rabbit hole. But I really wanted to, do this video, and God really pushed me to do this, because all that you've endured, it is done. God is getting ready to transition you into a new place. God is getting ready to shift your life. And I know that it's hard. And I know that you feel like you have nothing left. And I know you feel like you're just about to throw in the towel. And I know you feel like you can't take anymore. And I know you feel rejected and overlooked. And you feel like God has forgotten about you. But I can assure you that God has not forgotten about you. I can assure you, the word of God tells us that the grass may wither and the flower may fade, but his word is everlasting. Please believe that God has a word that he has spoken over your life, and the devil can do everything that he wants to in his power to try and snatch that word, but he can't snatch the whatever God has spoken. Whatever God speaks is guaranteed. It is set in stone. Can't nobody move that. Nobody can take that away. Nobody can steal what God has already said. The enemy's job is to steal, to kill, and destroy. That's what he comes to do. That's his sole purpose. He wants to distract you. He wants to destroy you. He wants you to go back into the world. He wants you to be depressed. He wants you to be suicidal. He wants you to quit. He wants you to throw in the towel. That's what he wants you to do. But I can assure you that if you just get every ounce of strength left in you, and pull on God, he will give you everything that you need to endure. That test wasn't for anything. That trial was for nothing. That period where you didn't have a job, that wasn't just in vain. That time where you lost your home, that wasn't for nothing. Understand that God is very strategic, and there's nothing that is a surprise to him. There's nothing that he doesn't know about. Stuff happens to us all the time, and we be like, Jesus, you could have warned your daughter something. You didn't say nothing. Okay, well, I guess I just have to deal with it. But nothing is a surprise to God. Nothing. Nothing. Everything that I have gone through, it was not a surprise to God. And I had to get to my rock bottom. I had to get to the lowest of low. I was tore up, y'all. Understand, there are people on here watching right now who can testify and say, yeah, she was pretty tore up. Yep, she was pretty tore up. I'll tell it. You know what I mean? They don't have to. I'll tell it. Because when I look at myself now, Jesus, when I look at myself in the mirror today, I know, listen, I'm not perfect. I don't have it all together. I have flaws. I have imperfections. It is what it is. However, the person that I was 3.5 years ago is not who I am today. The wholeness that I walk in, Jesus, the wholeness that I walk in. I mean, that person and this person, two different people. Two different people. I had to endure. And it's not by my works. It's not because I'm so great that I made it through. It's because the hand of God is on my life. It's because when I wanted to quit, when the devil was still in my ear talking about kill yourself, God was right there. God gave me the strength I needed. I didn't have it in me. My friends didn't have enough to give to me. My family didn't have enough to give to me. God had to give me the strength to fight against every word the devil was still trying to put in me. Even after I said, yes, God, I give you everything. I still had the enemy in my ear telling me that suicide was the better way. I still had the enemy in my ear telling me that what I went through, see, you went through it and God wasn't there. You went through it and nobody cared. I still had the enemy in my mind telling me things, in my ear telling me things. Jesus was on the cross and they were ridiculing him. They were making fun of him. But little did they know that he was going to rise with all power and show them who he really was. And even in this day, Jesus is still showing us his power. He's showing us his might. And the people that have rejected him before are coming to see who God really is. So, listen, I didn't come on here to rant. I came on here to encourage you. I came on here to let you know that you will make it. You will make it. Do not be fooled. Do not let the enemy get a hold on to you. You will make it. If you just get every ounce of strength that you have and you hold on for dear life to God, you hold on, you stay on your face, you stay in his presence, God will come through for you. I'm not telling you something that I heard, something that I read, something that somebody else told me. I'm telling you what I've lived and what I've experienced and what I continue to live. It is only by the grace, the mercy, and the love of God that I am sitting and doing this video before you today. If it was not for God, I would not be here. And because of that, I owe him my life. He gave up his, and I owe him mine. So my encouragement to you tonight is to give God everything that you have. Lay before him. Lay at his feet. Express to him how you feel. He's not looking for you to come in a particular way or to be perfect. You don't have to sit a certain way and do a certain thing. God is not locked into religion. God is not locked into a box that you have to come to him in a certain kind of way. Just go before him and watch him work. Watch God work on your behalf this week. Watch God work on your behalf this month. Watch God work on your behalf in the last 4 months of 2018. Watch God work, because he will do it. He will. I'm speaking to myself, y'all. Y'all don't have to receive it, but I receive it. He's going to do it. Not because we're so great, but because he's God. And what he's spoken, he will not go back on. He will not go back on. So, all right, I'm gonna jump off here, but I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Here's what I want you guys to do as a favor to me. Keep me accountable, y'all. If y'all don't see me on here, just DM me and be like, ma'am, what are you doing with your life? Clearly not what you're supposed to be, because you're not on Facebook Live. So no, but seriously, I want you guys to hold me accountable, because you know, God is really trying to pull some things out of me, you know, and sometimes when things are uncomfortable, we run away from them, right? Let's just be real. We run from what's uncomfortable. We run from what we, you know, don't know how to do and don't want to admit that we don't know how to do it. You know, we run from anything that's unfamiliar. We kind of, we slick reject it, you know what I mean? And so for me personally, I'm asking you guys to hold me accountable. Feel free to DM me and ask me where you at, what you doing, why you not on Facebook, get your life together, you know, whatever you feel like you need to say, as long as it ain't rude and disrespectful, we good. But anyway, so All right, I'm gonna jump off of here, and I would definitely see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions or anything, you know, feel free to, you can shoot me an email at beautifullarise@gmail.com. Feel free to send me a Facebook message. I'm also on Instagram. And then don't forget to check out my website, www.paulanosworthy.com, to kind of stay up to date with everything that I'm doing. Again, I have an exciting announcement that is coming for you guys on next week. And so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So make sure that you stay tuned for the next video. All right, you guys. See you in my next one.